What's up, everybody? I'm Gio, and I'm bringing you guys part 2 of what if I was in Dragon Ball. Now, I did a community check about my power level after I drink the Ultra Divine Water, so I can see which you guys' power levels. And I also saw a comment down below that supported me of maybe increasing my power level a lot higher. So I decided to actually equalize my community check with the comment. So I'm gonna doing my power level to be around Shonen Kid Vegeta. So I'll actually have a power level after I drink the Ultra Divine Water. I'll have a power level of 15,000. Yes, my power will be 15,000, which means that I'll be stronger than Vegeta. Of course, after seeing my power level, I would realize that I'm stronger than Vegeta, but of course, I'll still be worried because I might not be able to practically defeat Vegeta. Since he can go Great Ape and he easily beat me. But I do still feel the same energy that Fu left in me. Of course, I'm still confused by it, but I decided to just ignore it for now, since I want to stop Vegeta from trying to destroy a planet as he does so. Vegeta, of course, would try and Kakarot or Goku, but of course I'll be easily able to defend him. Of course Vegeta trying to attack me, but I'll easily able to dodge the attacks, telling Vegeta that we just want to talk, and nothing more. Vegeta of course will not believe me trying to attack me once again. He'll try to look at the moon, but before he can even get a chance to, I'll cut off his tail. I would say to Vegeta that he forced me to do that. I didn't want to, but he forced my hand. Vegeta then yelled at me to fire a Ki Blast, but I'll grab the Ki Blast and destroy it. Telling Vegeta that if he does not listen to me, I'll do him like Frieza did. Vegeta then starts to step back, and I tell Vegeta that I'm strong, and he does not and should not underestimate me. Of course, Vegeta decides to accept me to talk out. Eventually, I'll explain everything and why Goku practically teleported him there. Of course, Vegeta is kind of irritated, but he decides to accept that. He's still prideful, but he decides to let it go for now. Of course, I was sigh and I tell Goku that was a really bad idea. He shouldn't have done the wish. Of course, Goku looks down, but I just tell him to just be careful next time and not do these wishes without even thinking of the consequences. He must think about the consequences first before making the wish. Goku nods as Rise asks me of what they're gonna do now, since they're now not on the same planet they were before. I explained to them that we are trying to we can defeat Frieza in a nearby future. Of course, Vegeta thinks it's impossible, but I tell him I was able to defeat him, so it shouldn't be impossible, should it? Vegeta thinks about it and decides to actually agree with me, saying that I have a point. Eventually, I'll decide to train with Goku, Raditz, and Vegeta, as I would decide to train both of them. Of course, I'll decide to teach the martial arts that I was able to learn from Master Chen and Master Roshi, as I want to teach both of them how to fight like martial artists. Since both Vegeta and Raditz don't have that much battle experience as they did in Ken because of their adults, so practically I have to train them from the balls up. Of course, I will train them and I'll practically will teach them a lot more techniques. I'll also they'll teach me some other techniques like to create a power ball and many other things as well. Of course, I'll easily able to pick up due to my same potential. Even though I'm not a Saiyan but a human, I also have that same potential that Fu infused with me, making me a hybrid potential. Of course, I'll continue to train, and eventually I'll actually ask Goku to drink the Ultra Divine Water. When Goku actually drinks the Ultra Divine Water, he'll gain a power level of 2,000, being stronger than Raditz. Now, if you guys are wondering, I'm gonna say that Raditz right now has a power level of at least 600. While Vegeta, of course, has a power level up to 1,000. So, yeah. Of course, I'm still stronger than Vegeta, so I'll just continue to train them all. Of course, Kami thinks it's maybe a good idea for me to train them, and I do not actually refuse that idea. Eventually, I train all of them. Even I actually get the idea of maybe becoming the God of War, but this might be a little bit too much, since I do want to go back home, just in case. Of course, I will still continue to train and eventually increase my power. Eventually, a couple of years will have passed, and eventually a tournament that Goku would participate will still begin. I will not participate as I want to train myself to increase my power. Of course, King Piccolo will still be defeated like in the original, because I will just allow it to do so. And of course, I will slightly help Goku by distracting King Piccolo, and eventually Goku will deal with the final blow. Of course, Piccolo Jr. actually have the idea of Goku being even stronger, so you have to train even harder. Eventually, throughout the 3 years, Vegeta and Nappa are already adults, and eventually, Goku also becomes a teenager or an adult by himself. I also would have trained them all, and eventually increased my power level a lot. Before by 3 years time skip, I was able to teach Goku, Raditz, and Vegeta of how to access Ikari. Yes, I'll teach him how to access Ikari since I know Ikari is practically the same feeling of Great Ape without even transforming. I would teach that much easier to Raditz and Goku, while for Vegeta will be slightly difficult since I did cut off his tail. Eventually I was able to train him, but I decided to actually cut off Raditz's tail since I don't see a problem. I don't see actually that big of a deal. If I cut it off, it doesn't have that much of a problem. But Raditz, of course, accepts that since he doesn't see a problem with it. Douglas actually decides to keep his tail since he thinks that it's a better way for him, and I decided to let that happen. I also would have used a time chamber with all of them as we will gain a lot more power as we continue to train. I also create multiple other techniques. I also create a technique which I call the Neo Force, which practically allows me to control my opponent if he's as strong as me, if not even slightly stronger. I can only do it for people who are strong as me or like slightly stronger. I can practically control their body, it's still some of their energy, but only at least 5% of it. And I practically can give it to myself or anyone I desire, which is an incredibly stressful technique because I must maintain incredible focus so I can utilize it. Of course, the tournament will still end up. Now, if you guys are wondering, these are the power levels for me, Goku, Raditz, Vegeta, and Piccolo Jr. So yeah, I will actually be the strongest still, even though Goku and the Saiyans do get Zenkai. So my hyper potential will practically be stay on top due to my constant training and increasing power level. By the time I will have a power level of at least 75,000. You have a power level being higher than Raditz, so I'm gonna say that Goku and Vegeta are actually even at the power levels of 50,000. While Raditz is like behind him being at a power level of 25,000, and Piccolo having a power level of 4,000 due to his constant training. Of course, he'll still be easily be defeated by Goku. Eventually, of course, Goku and Chi-Chi will still get married, and I will become Uncle Martin to Gohan, which I'll be pretty happy about that. Since I kind of look like Goku, I'll continue to train and increase my power. Eventually, of course, I'll also go to King Kai's planet a lot earlier on. Eventually, by 5 years time skip, I most likely would have gone to King Kai's planet to train for at least 1 year there. Of course, I'll not visit my nephew as much, but I'll still visit him a lot as well. I'll train at least for a full year on King Kai's planet. I'll be able to arrive just in a couple of, you can say a couple of days, so I'll have at least couple of months to train with King Kai. I know that the same vision will not happen, but I do know that Frieza will still go to Namek, and since I know Frieza's location to Namek, we must get even stronger before. So I decided to continue training and increase my power. I'll train with King Kai, and eventually I'll be able to get the Kaioken. Eventually, with my training for a full year, I'll be able to increase my power level massively. Of course, the others still continue to train with themselves, but with my training with King Kai and my mastery or my ki control being a lot better now, thanks to King Kai's training, my power level will surpass all of them. I will practically have a power level, a staggering power level of 800,000 by the time. While Goku has a power level of 100,000, Vegeta has a power level of 150,000 due to his much more later training, and Raditz having a power level of 19,000, while Piccolo has a power level of 25,000. And of course, Piccolo will soon join us, and eventually he'll have a power level of 75,000 as well. So yeah, everyone will become incredibly strong by the time, but I'm still worried about Frieza, so I decided to use the Dragon Balls, and I showed him what is Frieza's current location, and his future location. Of course, Sharon would explain to me that his current location is his now home planet, and his future location will be Namek. Of course, then seemingly as Frieza is still doing the same as he did in the original, but I must be prepared if Frieza did train, because I know if Frieza did train, it will most likely be a big trouble. So I decided to do another wish on Shenron, because I most likely would have helped Kami get stronger and upgrade the Dragon Ball so they can grant 2 wishes, so I'll use the second wish to bring the Z Sword to me. Of course, Strong was easily able to provide the wish. Eventually I was starting to pick up the Z Sword, but it was incredibly happy for me. I know that Gohan was incredibly strong since he was a Saiyan, so I was able to use Kaioken times 10. I was easily able to hold that level of Kaioken since I was able to train a lot in my previous time. I was able to pick up the Z Sword and eventually go inside the Time Chamber. Also, if you guys are wondering, I also would have helped Kami upgrade the Time Chamber so nobody can age while being inside there. So yeah. I will then continue to meditate and continue to increase my ki control unless I train with the Z Sword, as the Z Sword on its own unlocking slightly of my potential. Of course, I know the old guys inside of it, that's why my potential is just growing stronger, so that's why I will constantly increase my power. Eventually, after some time, I'll reach a base power level of 10 million by the time of my training. Also, if you guys are wondering, I want to spend 2 years inside a time chamber. I know it may be almost impossible for me to do so, but when I constant focus and train with the Z Sword, I'll most likely forget almost time passing so fast. So yeah, eventually I was able to free the old Kai by pure luck as I would use Kaioken times 20, which will most likely bring me the power level enough for me to actually crack the Z Sword a little bit so I can practically free him. Eventually after all the old Kai is freed, he decides to grant me my potential unlocked. And with my potential unlocked, I kind of look like a Super Saiyan at some sort, but with black hair and my eyes are still normal. Of course, I'll be pretty happy since the ultimate form or the mystic form is really useful if you have it in you, because it's practically a free form that can be used as a base state if you utilize it correctly. Eventually, I will train. I decided to let the old Kai relax while I train using the mystic form. Eventually, after some time, I'm able to utilize the mystic form to its full capacity, with my power level reaching that of base form Frieza at 100%, meaning I have a power level of 120 million. with my power level being this incredibly high, of course I'll go to rest and eventually train with them all. Eventually I'll teach all of them how to access Super Saiyan by the time, and eventually all of them will get to our power levels of at least 8 million to 3 million, while Piccolo will actually be at 8 million himself and learn Kaioken from me. Eventually, after he was becoming kind of strong, I'll of course continue my training myself, since I know I must get even stronger to defeat Frieza. Since I want to also beat Frieza myself, I've grown so strong and a lot more powerful throughout the years. I know that I'm confident that maybe I can defeat Frieza by myself, but I know that teamwork is better than nothing. So I'll just continue my training and eventually I'll decide to face off against Frieza with my fellow Saiyans. Of course, Vegeta does see me as a kind of a human, but he does see me as a prideful Saiyan. I have a pride of a Saiyan like never before. He respects me a lot. Even Raditz and Goku do as well. Of course, I'll decide to train Gohan a little bit later, since I know he's still young, but I decided to train him like Piccolo did. But unlike Piccolo, I will not be as harsh as he was. I'll be much more gentle, and alongside help him teach him ki control. Of course, Chi will be kind of against it at first, but eventually after learning that Gohan must get stronger to protect himself and the others if Goku or me or anyone else is to pass away after some time, Gohan must become the next protector of Earth and the guardian of it. Of course, Chi does decide to accept that since she thinks it's the right thing, and eventually I'm able to teach Gohan how to handle ki control, also I train him slightly. Even with the slight training with me, Gohan is able to get to a power of 1000 by a time, which is still impressive because he's a hybrid Saiyan, of course. When eventually we all would have been training, and eventually I also would have asked Bulma to make a gravity room for all of us, which we'll use by the time. Of course, I want us all to be prepared, and not even a little bit extra prepared just in case if Frieza did train. I'm really anxious about Frieza training, so that's why I'm wanting us all to train even literally hard, so we can face off against Frieza. Even though I know our power levels will be just enough if we face off a Frieza who's not in training. So yeah, but guys, this is the end of this part. Hope you guys will see you in the next part. See you guys later.